And I thought, he's rather really special and just a tad bit of a serial killer. June 21st, 2020, Berlin. I sent him the following voice memo. There are two grains of sand walking in the desert. One of the grain of sand turns to the other one and says, "Psst, hey, you!" And then the other one says, What do you want?" And then the first grain of sand says, I think we're being followed. Then I say, "Your turn." Sure, it might have been a bit unconventional to send this as my first message, now that we match on Bumble. But I had to make the first move. And he did say in his profile that he was a wannabe comedian. Perhaps he thought I was really special? Or maybe a tad crazy. His turn. And he sends me the following message, voice memo. He says, "No matter how hard you push the envelope, it will always remain stationary." And I was like, okay, we got something here. So we started chatting and messaging and flirting with each other on Bumble. And it was soon after he invited me to our first date, and he offered to pick me up in his bright red convertible Miata. And I thought, he's rather really special and just a tad bit of a serial killer. To be honest, it felt great to have something to distract myself. At that time, I was working in a startup, and as those of you in the startup world knows that we must wear many hats. I was their marketing person, their comms person, their PR person, their psychologist, their therapist, their cheerleader, and on and on and on. And it was nice to have someone to talk to. Friday, June 26th, my grandma calls me. And she says, "Vicky," she calls me Vicky, "I remember the name." And I was like, "That's great, Grandma." You see, my grandma and I were working on this project, this family tree project. And she was telling me stories about all of my ancestors in Haiti and my great-great-grandma. And she had finally remembered the name of a great-great-great-aunt. Her memory, wow. And on the phone, I said, "Grandma, that's amazing. I'm at work now. Is it okay if I call you back?" And she says, "Of course, Vicky. Call me back when you have time." You have to picture a New York Haitian accent, which I cannot do. Saturday comes, and I forget to call back my grandma. Sunday comes, and I forget to call her back. But I am messaging Christian, the Bumble dude, and it's going really well. We're flirting and everything. Monday, June 29th, my mom calls. It's noon. And it's pretty early where she lives, because she lives in Montreal. It's 6 a.m. And I pick up the phone and I'm like, "Hi, Mom." And she says, "Are you busy?" And I'm like, "I'm always busy. But my next meeting is in an hour. What's up?" And she starts crying. And she says, she's gone. And I knew immediately who she was talking about. And I say, she can't be gone. I didn't call her back. The feeling of guilt and hurt is indescribable. That Friday, I had the very last chance to speak to my grandma. I had the last chance to tell her I love her. But instead, I told her, "Grandma, I'm busy right now. Can I call you back when I have time?" I flew to be with my family to Montreal a couple days later. And of course, I had to cancel my date with Christian, but he was so compassionate and understanding. And in Montreal, away from Berlin, I had a chance to really reflect on the direction my life was taken. And it was clear to me that I had come to a fork in the road. I could continue to do as I was doing, spend all my energy, my soul, everything I had into this startup, and build the dreams and the ambitions of someone else. Or I could reprioritize and refocus and figure out what is it that I want to do and that will bring me most meaning and purpose in my life. But most importantly, I need to prioritize my family, my friends, because I've just realized that tomorrow is not a given and today is most definitely a gift. When I got back to Montreal, to Berlin, it was in August. Christian and I finally went on our first date. And yes, he did pick me up in his bright red convertible Miata that he was so proud of. He refers to this car as his side piece. A year later, he proposed. 6 months after that, we got married. And I know that if my grandma were to meet him or would have known him, she would have loved and adored him the way I love and adore him. And I like to think that she sent him to me in a time where I needed to refocus. But for now, Christian and I, we are just 2 grains of sand walking in the desert, come what may. Yeah.